today I would like to talk about a framework you can use for analyzing complex information. So in your coursework as a student or in your assignment, or depending on what you do, even in some exams, sometimes you'll be required to analyze information. And analysis, just like we all know, is the breaking down of information into different component parts. So that helps you to be able to understand the contribution of each component to the overall process or project, depending on what you're looking at. So this framework is one that can help you to analyze complex information. And by complex information, I mean things like investigation, root cause analysis, performing audits, or even trying to compare two options or two solutions. That's what I mean by complex information in this talk. So I'll explain the framework with this diagram. Now, this framework, the foundation of this framework is from the cause and effect model, and the cause and effect model it's one that is scientifically proven and widely accepted because it comes from the second, I think, the Newton's law of motion that says for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So the framework for this complex analysis is hinged on that fundamental law. Now, so if you look at this diagram here, we have the cause on the left hand side in the yellow box and the consequence on the right hand side, and we have what is called an event in the center, at the center. So what this model can help us to understand is what are the causes or what are the things that leads to an event. Now, an event in this case can be what we are trying to investigate. For instance, if there is an accident or if there is a problem you're trying to look into, that can be defined as your event. And the consequences, what are the consequences that can happen as a result of that accident or problem occurring. So this is just a very simple model. On the left hand side, the causes that can lead to the event, and on the right hand side, if those causes are not mitigated, what are the consequences as a result of that? So this is the framework I'll be explaining how we can use to analyze complex information in the coming weeks. And the main areas of applications we'll be looking at will be in terms of investigating, just like I said, accident investigation. I'm looking at the root cause analysis. Why did something happen? Why did something go wrong? This framework can help us to look at root cause analysis. It can help us to do auditing as well. And you can look at the processes of an organization, and you can look at where they are not meeting the requirement or where they need to improve more in their processes. This framework can help us to do that. This framework can also help us to compare options. For instance, if there are two ways of financing a project, you can actually compare the two options using this model to tell us the impact of each of these options. And that's what we'll be trying to do in the coming weeks. And feel free to drop any questions or comments you will have as we go through the application of this framework. Thank you.